in a time of 52.92, a new high school national record. Back to back to back to back state champions. Nebraska Public Media Sports, your home for championship sports, is live from the Bob Devaney Sports Center in Lincoln, Nebraska for the 50th anniversary of the NSAA Volleyball Championships. Our day-long coverage starts this morning in Class D2 with Sacred Heart taking on the Humphrey St. Francis Flyers. And good morning, everyone. I'm Larry Putney, along with former Nebraska standout Kathy Wieskamp. Great to have you with us for a monumental day. This is the 50th anniversary of one of the great spectacles in high school sports in Nebraska, the Girls State Volleyball Championships. It's hard to believe, 50 years.
Incredible. And again, the amazing athletes, coaches, officials that have been a part of this. And the NSA has done a tremendous job, again, putting this together and developing and growing the program. And again, the state championship, pretty exciting.
We're going to hear from some pioneers in this sport who've made it what it is today throughout today. Here's a look at our interview schedule and the classes. We'll start this morning. Linda Carlson will join us in set number 2. So it should be a terrific day. Again, we started off this morning in Class D2, and this is a showdown between the Flyers, who were here last year, and Falls City Sacred Heart.
Absolutely. We got a number 1 and number 2 seed, so perfect matchup to start the day. It should be a lot of fun here. And again, these two teams, I'm excited to kick this tournament off.
So let's take a look at where these two teams reside. We'll take a look at the map for the Class D2 showdown between St. Francis and Falls City Sacred Heart. Of course, Falls City not far from here, just south, right along the border in Nebraska, down by Kansas, and Humphrey St. Francis had a quick trip to get here to the Devaney Sports Center. Here is how they got here. Sacred Heart with the win over Exeter, Milligan, and Wynot, a couple of sweeps. And Humphrey St. Francis with 2 5-setters. Went 5 against Anselmo Myrna and 5 against Maywood Hayes Center. Time now to go down courtside to the third member of our crew. Let's head down to Ryan Mix.
Good morning, everyone. Looking forward to a full day of state championship matches back at the Devaney Center after last year's matches were at Pinnacle Bank Arena. And to start it off, Falls City Sacred Heart coming into this match red hot. They've only dropped 2 sets in their last 15 matches, and Humphrey St. Francis is playing great volleyball as well. They're on a 13-match win streak riding into this tournament. Their head coach, Dean Corris, said defense will be the key for the Flyers today, although he recognizes they'll need to play well in every phase. And head coach Emma Ebel said this morning that she loves this team. She's so proud of where they've gotten so far this year. It's one of the best years in Sacred Heart history, but she'd love to cap it off with a win today.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Once again, today we are celebrating 5 decades of the best athletes and coaches from across the state, and the programs go all the way back to 1972. We're going to kick it off in Class D2 when we come back at the Devaney Sports Center.
All right, it's time to talk about us. Not him, not her, not them. Us. Thanks to us, things have been great. In fact, you can find us just about everywhere. Your food, that's us. Your food's food, that's us too. Your fuel, that's us. And should anyone out there happen to doubt us, by all means, just watch us.
Electricity. It makes life easier, more productive, brighter, possible. Yet we only think about it when we don't have it. The next time you're doing, well, anything, think about how electricity makes it all possible. And know we will be there, powering your everyday, every day.
Sometimes you just have to be a little stronger, go a little farther, be a little tougher. This past year was a test to see if we could step up and weather the storm together. We are committed to push a little harder, go a little farther, lean into the challenge, and be tougher together. Aurora and you.
This is a growing corn plant. It's not battery-powered. It doesn't have a 300-mile range, but it's vital in our fight against climate change. Reducing 46% of carbon emissions and producing clean-burning ethanol. Corn ethanol is the climate solution we need now.
Back to the Devaney Sports Center here in Lincoln. Time to get it started. Let's go down sideline to Steve Lemon.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bob Devaney Sports Center for Championship Saturday of the 2021 Nebraska School Activities Association State Volleyball Championships. Today's Class D2 State Championship match features the #1 seed, Falls City Sacred Heart Irish, and the second-seeded Humphrey St. Francis Flyers. The NSAA is proud to recognize our premier corporate partners for their outstanding support of NSAA activities. U.S. Bank, Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, the Nebraska Chiropractic Physicians Association, Lincoln Orthopedic Center, and Nebraska Orthopedic and Sports Medicine. At this time, we ask you to please rise and remove your hats as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Our anthem will be sung this morning by Carla Diaz Hidalgo from Columbus Lakeview High School.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Carla Diaz Hidalgo. And now it's time to meet the teams. First, here are the Humphrey St. Francis Flyers. #2, Mary Rita Wagner. #3, Josie Zock. #4, Kylie Wessel. #5, Emma Baumgart. #6, McKenna Whitfield. #8, Kelly Pfeiffer. #10, Delaney Ulmer. #12, Tessa Dietz. #13, Morgan Pfeiffer. #14, Kaylee Strickland. #15, Jalissa Hostreiter. #18, Leah Cush. #22, Shelby Gilsdorf. And #30, Hannah Baumgart. The assistant coaches are Susan Lindsley, Haley Schroggy, and Tammy Clausen. The head coach for the Flyers is Dean Corus. And now, let's meet the Falls City Sacred Heart Irish. #4, Lauren Malone. #5, Sadie Tisdale. #9, Olivia Eichhoff. #10, Rachel Magdans. Number 11, Arison Vanderschmidt. Number 12, London Noctegal. Number 13, Taylor Frederick. Number 14, Jessica Wurtenberger. Number 15, Delaney Witt. Number 16, Lainey Ebel. Number 17, Gentry Lechtenberg. Number 19, Emma Frederick. Number 20, Grace Malcolm. And number 22, Macy Keller. The assistant coaches are Abby Schubert and Holly Westengard. The head coach for the Irish is Emma Ebel. Today's officials are Chuck Goebbels and Bridget Medna. The bench official is Scott Johnson. And now, let's play state championship volleyball.
So here we go, Class D2 State Championship to kick off our day-long coverage on Nebraska Public Media. There's a look at the Flyers of St. Francis. They come in at 25-5, have not been or haven't won a state championship since 2005. They were here just 2 years ago, 2019, finished as a runner-up that year. And there are the Falls City Sacred Heart Irish. 34-2 for the Irish. Their head coach, Emma Ebel, in just her second season. And they last won a state title in 2006. So it's been a while since the Irish have been here in a state championship. That was the last time, back in 06.
Both of them really hungry for this opportunity to be in the championship and bring home that trophy. You know, Falls City Sacred Heart, they're on a 17-game winning streak, and so they're feeling really confident. And again, Humphrey St. Francis, talk about experience in state championships, they have it.
There's a look at Dean Corris. He's been on the bench for 41 years for the Flyers. Won a state title in 2000 without losing a single set, if you believe that or not.
Incredible.
It's remarkable.
And what again, a familiar face, and again, a gentleman who has committed to coaching volleyball.
Kylie Wessel, she had 14 kills in match number 1 of these state championships, opens it up for the Flyers.
She definitely can open it up. She averages 9 kills per set, so she's one of those players you're going to want to keep your eye on.
Tip not over. Nice job defensively by Sacred Heart. That was Vanderschmidt.
And that's another face you're going to want to keep track of here in this match. She is an incredible athlete, and you guys are going to enjoy watching her today.
Great up, nice tip to keep it alive. Out to the pin, swing goes down line. And then again, Vanderschmidt in the middle with the kill. She had 16 in the first match down here in state.
And again, she just does a tremendous job. She's got great court awareness, her body awareness, and really does a good job finding a way in even unusual circumstances.
Here's Vanderschmidt again in the middle with that left hand, nice up back row.
And being that lefty, blockers really have to make sure they're setting up accordingly.
Little tight to the net on the set, not much Vanderschmidt could do with it, and it falls on the side of the Irish for a point for the Flyers. Tough serve and the ace. Little fist bump there from Kylie Wessel, who has 38 aces on the season.
She's a competitor too. It's fun to watch her out there. And again, nothing better than strong serving to really get your team going and get the other team out of system.
Bomber with nearly twice as many aces as her next closest teammate, 38 on the year. Free ball over. Opportunity here. That's going to be a free ball right back over for the Flyers.
The communication piece there.
Good job in system, in time, and Kelly Pfeiffer puts it down.
Pfeiffer, nice job. That ball pushed to the outside, and she had a little seam right between the blocks there, and she found it.
En route to this state championship, Sacred Heart with back-to-back sweeps. Really, they were only challenged, Kathy, in one set, as that is a bit high, no touch on the block, and point for the Flyers. The really only time they were challenged was in that third set on opening day. Go back to Thursday against Exeter Milligan. It went 29-27 in the third. Outside of that,
Pretty
really,
comfortable.
Yeah, nobody was within 5 points. I mean, you look at what they did to Wynot in the semis, 25-18, 25-5, 25-15. It was
Really, again, come in very confident, as you said, and then fighting off that, extra point set sometimes really then gives you that added confidence also. And they've played very clean and very well through this tournament. Making sure that antenna is straight and in alignment. Officials do such a great job. One of the other things too in this celebration year is the great work that we've seen from officials. Even those little things.
big block again on the left side. That's Kelly Pfeiffer there again. Pfeiffer, a couple of big plays here early on. We've got a timeout on the floor. This the D2 state championship. Remember, last year's state championships were played at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Let's go revisit last year's D2 title game.
The top-ranked Diller Odell Griffins entered the 2020 Class D2 state championship as the D1 defending champions, looking to repeat against the second-ranked Renegades of CWC. Diller Odell erased a 9-1 deficit to win the first set as well as the second. But CWC stormed back to win sets 3 and 4. After Diller Odell took a 14-10 lead in the fifth set, CWC scored 4 straight to tie, but Ava Lovett hammered home the match-clinching point to give Diller Odell their second straight championship.
That was this year. This is 2021 back at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Rolled out the black court for these championships. Love it. We haven't seen that much this year.
No, it's awesome. And again, how fun for the players to be here. Again, the home of the Huskers and have the opportunity to play on the floor. And as you said, the black court.
That's right. Off the top of the block. Good dive and a kill again for Kelly Pfeiffer, and that is a 5-0 run for the Flyers.
And Pfeiffer has definitely been a part of that as well. Just some great shots, making great decisions up there and finding ways to get some points.
Out of the back row, left hand not down by Vonderschmidt. Did not quite clear the tape on the tip try by Tessa Dietz, and get a feeling that maybe they're still feeling each other out here early on.
It's early, first game of the morning. It's in the Devaney Center. They haven't played here because all their previous games were over at the Pinnacle Bank. So again, just getting acclimated. Takes a few minutes, few swings, few points.
Just long on the swing from Pfeiffer.
Sacred Heart, St. Francis really doing a good job though getting attacks off. Even in unideal passes or situations, they're really doing a nice job getting swings.
Wide, no touch, point for the Flyers. Back to serve now for St. Francis. Josie Zach. Double contact called, 2 touches.
Witt really trying to push that to the outside, and again, hands just weren't strong and solid in there to get it out there, and that 2-hit contact. Key part of that, strong hands, wrists. Strickland there, looks like big swing coming in the middle. Gets in, works off the edge of the block, goes to that deep corner.
opportunity here off the free ball. Baumgart outside did not clear the tape, and the point for the Irish.
Can get an Irish a little bit of momentum here, trying to pick up points, get a little string put together. Block comes up big. Yeah. Blocks there, and again just falls on St. Francis' side. That push, that second push there, great job by Eichhoff. Olivia Eichhoff in the middle. Again.
Block coming up big here in set one for the Irish.
Eichhoff doing a really great job closing. You can see shoulder to shoulder, strong hands up there, working as a team.
In system, good pass out to the pin. And the kill. Like Strickland again.
Strickland, that middle blocker, utilizing her again, just hitting a few different spots along the middle area there, keeping the blockers on their toes, having to react and set up accordingly.
Strickland wasted no time in sending that right back. Free ball over. Another opportunity.
Sliced that one right through. Nice dig.
And the block again for the Irish on the right side. Magdan's got a hand up.
Olivia Eichhoff is working hard and going pin to pin. She's doing a tremendous job closing that block and being solid.
Back to within 3 are the Irish at 12-9. Double contact on the Flyers. Remember 2 years ago, St. Francis here down at State at the Devaney Sports Center playing BDS, Burning Davenport Shickley. It was a 5-setter. Went to extra points in the 5th, back and forth. And BDS won that championship 16-14 in the 5th.
That stung a little bit, and that's something that they've used also to really motivate them and say, we don't want to feel like that again, you know, and so they've mentioned that too as something that's really been a drive for them.
Tip, good coverage, tried to put it over on 2, not clearing the tape, and that will end the 3-0 run for the Irish, but they've pulled back to within 2 at 13-11. Punched at. Good job to keep it up.
2 hit.
Second time on the Flyers. That one tried to put in deep corner. Right idea, just rolled off the hand.
Yep, I love to, especially as we've been watching leading up to these championships, the awareness that the players have and the openings that they know are available on the court. They're really doing a good job. Executing is then the key, just knowing where your places are.
Good set behind by Baumgart there. Oh, up.
Right up.
Back row swing. Another good up on the other side. And then from the left side, the Flyers able to terminate on the kill by Kylie Wessel.
You know, we talk about great defensive plays. Look at Baumgart right here going from one side to the other, flying after that ball. Just scrappy defense this morning. Oh.
There's the swing and a kill by Arison Bonderschmidt. 6-foot senior middle, averages 10 kills per match.
And just that angle, that left hand up there. does a great job. Blockers got to factor that in, and she's just hitting at a different angle than right-handers, so you got to make adjustments.
Nice job to pull that out of the net without touching. For the Flyers, here's the middle.
There.
Big kill by Vanderschmidt.
She got on top of that ball, fed her right where she needed it, and with that long arm, good timing, she gets on top of that, and major kill for Vanderschmidt.
Now to serve is Vanderschmidt. Oh, a tough serve there. Leads to free ball opportunity. Good pass from Vanderschmidt. Swiped off the block, but recovered by Hostreiter to keep it alive. And then from that left pin, another kill by Kelly Pfeiffer.
Pfeiffer doing a great job over on that left pin. She's got blockers. She's been going through that seam here. She gets it, sneaks it through. She's had a lot of shot variety already.
Line and just a bit long. Point for the Irish.
Open area, just missed that mark by a little bit. Good vision though.
Close one here in set one, 16-15. Flyers on top. Back to serve now is Delaney Witt. Witt was on that basketball team. Made the state finals last year, along with sister Mackenzie Witt, who has since graduated. Tessa Dietz there with the point for the Flyers.
Tool in that block. Swell knew she has having a big block in front of her. You got to use it to your advantage. That's exactly what she did.
Strickland with the kill.
I believe that's her third kill too in this match. She's really come alive there in the middle.
3-point lead here in set one for the Flyers, 18-15 on top of Falls City Sacred Heart. Here's a look at the Irish breaking the huddle after the timeout. They only lost Danielle Bippus off of last year's team. Last year's team have experience in state championships, as do the Flyers. In fact, the Flyers girls have been to state in basketball, volleyball, and track every year of high school except their freshman year in volleyball. So 11 of 12 state championships they've
qualifiers
been in.
that they've been involved in. All of those. That is incredible. Very impressive. And again, kudos to their girls program and the tradition of excellence.
Nice set behind and a terrific dig. Goes to the middle that time. Aggressive swing, but not down.
There she is again.
Deep corner, what a shot.
Coming alive, Strickland has really done a tremendous job in the middle. She's been working hard, slices it right off the edge of the block here. 4 kills, I believe, that puts for her. Nice location, great decision. Love when players know what's available and make their opponents scramble. Just a great shot.
That's Rachel Magdans, who really wasn't available to come back and play for the Irish until August. She suffered that bad ankle injury last year in the state basketball championships. In fact, I think it was the semifinal round, rolled an ankle.
Ligaments. And
we remember seeing the replay of that where the ankle almost touched the floor. It was difficult to see, and it took a long time for Magdans to come back.
But great to see her here today, you know, and again, that's the dedication and the commitment of these athletes to rehab, get back, because they're so passionate about being involved and playing and being on the team.
Block on the right side for the Flyers, first to 20. Or check that, is that a point for the Irish?
Flyers.
It was Flyers.
Yep.
2017. Off the side of the block. There is Magdans. 6 kills for her in round 1 down here at State. Another look. Second try was over, no touch called there, and then out. So the Flyers get the point anyway, but you could tell Vonderschmidt came down and touched the net after her reaction. She pulled the hands back like, oh, but then it didn't get called.
You got to keep playing until the whistle blows, and the girls did do that. And it all worked out, I guess. The Flyers ending up with that point.
Off the top of the tape. Back and forth here in set number 1. Both teams struggling with the hitting percentage here in the first. Trying to get something going.
We've seen some good swings, and then we've just seen some out-of-bounds shots, and so just getting in their groove.
Tool the block there, and a point for the Flyers. Baumgart back to serve again, the junior libero for the Flyers. In the middle, Vonderschmidt got it.
That left-hand cross-court shot, taking it at that left side. And again, she's got a lot of pace on that ball. She's got a quick arm swing, and we talked about her high contact point. Just that angle that it's coming at the defender is tough.
Already 4 kills for Vonderschmidt here in the match, and that's a nice tip. Wessel with the kill. And now she goes back to serve.
A nice aggressive play there, sending it over. A lot of court there.
Yeah, 5 kills for Vonderschmidt.
Nobody in front of that arm and a lot of space on the court. You can just see that angle right through there. She had a lot of space and a lot of choices.
What a shot right down the line. Around the block and down the line, one of the better shots by Hostreiter, Jalissa Hostreiter. And now, Hostreiter back to serve for set number 1. Good up. Bump set, back row swing. Good cross court. Go by Taylor Frederick. 5'7" outside hitter, the senior. The twin of Emma. Taylor and Emma are twins.
I was just gonna say, we got a sister act here. Twin sisters having fun being on a team together.
A great save by Delaney Witt. Now Witt steps into set, pushes it outside, and another good up.
Shot.
Point for the Irish. And a quick timeout taken here by Dean Corus. As the Irish have rattled off a couple of points in a row to make it 24-23.
Just a great tempo shot here, really challenging the defense to get down and make a play. And then the 2-hit call on the second attacker.
So it was 24-21. The Flyers have had 2 set points here, both shut down by the Irish. And the timeout by Dean Corus to talk it over at 24-23. Right now the Flyers led in kills by Kelly Pfeiffer with 4 and Kaylee Strickland also with 4. Bonderschmidt leads the way for the Irish with 5. So this will be set point number 3 upcoming for the Flyers. And they'll try to side out. Irish trying to push this to extra points in our first set of the day. Pulled inside and down. The kill by Kelly Pfeiffer. Third time is a charm, third set point, and the Flyers win set number 1 here in the Class D2 State Championship. 25-23. Closed out by Kelly Pfeiffer, her 5th kill of set number 1.
Have you heard about FAFSA?
It's like a form you fill out.
Fill it out and you get money for college.
Easiest way to get money for college, hands down.
FAFSA. It's a life hack.
It's your way in.
So you want to help me pay for college? I'm down.
Heck yeah.
Definitely. How is this not trending on all the things?
It took me like 30 minutes to fill out.
So easy.
How much am I gonna get? This is a hidden gem.
Fill out your FAFSA.
FAFSA.
Drink water, buckle up, fill out your FAFSA.
Opportunities. They're found here, and here, and here. They inspire her, motivate him, prepare them. And when those opportunities start here, they can take you anywhere. Wayne State College, where opportunities today prepare you to lead tomorrow. Explore WayneStateCollege.com.
Farming is more than just work. It's your way of life. Protecting your family's legacy is our way of life. Through challenges and successes, we understand your family's insurance needs. With every turn of the wheel, for every investment, through every season, generation after generation, Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
After concussion, returning to the classroom is a priority of the NSAA. All brains return to learn, not all brains return to play.
After recognizing that an athlete has suffered a concussion, it is important to monitor the symptoms in the classroom before allowing the athlete to return to extracurricular activities.
The NSAA requires coaches in all sports to take a concussion course once every 3 years.
More information is available on our website, nsaahome.org. Student athletes are students first, athletes second.
And welcome back to the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Humphrey St. Francis takes set number 1 over the Irish 25-23. We mentioned off the top of the broadcast that throughout the day we'd be joined by pioneers in the sport, and we could not be more happy to have with us Linda Carlson, who's the head coach at North Platte for 34 years. Thanks so much for joining us.
It's an honor to be here. Thanks for asking me.
So throughout the day we'll be talking to those who really help make this event what it is. What do you remember about the early days? Maybe even go back to year 172.
Oh wow, year 172.
Yeah.
We played in a little gym that didn't even have a regulation size basketball court. But our volleyball court was regulation size. The girls loved practicing there because they didn't have to chase balls anywhere. I mean, the sideline, the wall was like 4 feet from the sideline. And we even had hosted Trans-Nebraska there like 2 years later, and we played competition matches in there because no fans came to watch, not even parents. It was just, I tell you, it was so fun. Kids loved it. I loved it.
In those first couple of years, because you coached in 70, 71 before there was an official state championship in 72. What was that like? Was it a season and then you were done, or how
It was, most of the small schools out in western Nebraska had volleyball. So they knew what they were doing, so I would go watch them because I didn't play volleyball in college, and I thought, well, I better learn how to play this game. So I would watch them, but we didn't have uniforms, and the school, the to be able to have girls sports, it couldn't cost anything, couldn't interfere with the boys, and it couldn't interfere with pep club and cheerleading. That was
those were the parameters.
Those
you
were my
given.
parameters, yeah. Wow. So we wore cutoff jeans and white T-shirts with magic marker numbers on them. Because that's the only thing we all had the same of. And we played little schools like Grant and St. Pat's and Hershey. And I think we went 500 that first year playing them. And then the second year, some parents in the community got us uniforms, but we had to wear those same uniforms for track. So they were kind of a generic.
Multi-use.
A generic uniform. Oh. But, you know, kids were so appreciative to just have the opportunity.
Yeah.
So
well,
it was okay.
And talk about, again, the evolution, you know, of that, you know, what your story needs to be heard, to, the foundation of that. But again, what things that have you seen over the years that just, again, you're I guess, thrilled to see the progress?
You know, the important things never change. The camaraderie you made with other coaches and even with players from other teams. You know, some of those people are still my friends. I think that was the big thing. And I do think back in the very beginning, my generations of coaches were so helpful to each other and so friendly to each other and became lifetime friends. And I don't really see that now. You know, I talked to the head coach at North Platte, one of my ex-players, and I asked her about other coaches. Oh, I don't know. I don't really know them. And it's just like, I think that's bad. Because we'd all learn from each other. I think that's why it was so, I don't know, it was just kind of a camaraderie among the players. But as far as the kids, and until I quit coaching anyway, the work ethic was still there. You know, I'm not a big fan of club volleyball. I know it's great, and it's developed some tremendous players in this town in Lincoln. But, you know, I like kids. I'm old school. Play 3 sports a season, and your favorite season should be the sport you're playing.
Right.
And especially North Platte kids, it's a 3-hour drive for them to go to a weekday practice. And that's tough.
Sure.
But club volleyball has changed volleyball huge.
The state tournament has changed also.
Yes.
You know, we talked about we're celebrating 50 years, and again, how exciting is that? You've played in state tournaments that were in Scottsbluff and Kearney.
Right. Scottsbluff was the first one. Man, it was a horrible snowstorm, and they weren't going to let us go. And they told my husband he was going to drive the bus, and he said, I can't drive the bus. So they hired some 18-year-old kid who drove us out there in this snowstorm. But Marion was in the tournament. I think they even won it. And they almost didn't get there, trying to get through the snowstorm. And everybody was saying, let's just postpone it till next week. It wasn't like it was any huge big deal, but they wouldn't. But everybody got there, and we played. And then they moved it to Kearney, and we won it in Kearney. And I think we kind of had an advantage when it was out west. And I think you Easterners didn't like that. So they moved it east, and I don't think a Western team has won it since. But anyway, yeah, that's changed a lot. The atmosphere, to us personally, the atmosphere was always there. The players and the coaches and the parents, but now you see, remember when it was in Pershing, Kathy, and you couldn't even get in until the teams ahead of you got out, and they cleared out the gym. You couldn't stay and watch the next games. I mean, man, that's when it was really fun.
And the energy and the excitement.
Oh my gosh,
of that.
yes, it was just packed.
Talking with Linda Carlson, it's 7-5 here in the match. Flyers on top. They lead it 1-0. Talk about when Title IX first came around and you had to go to school board and fight for female sports within your district. Talk about that process. What were some of the objections you had, and talk about the process of getting this started in North Platte.
Well, when I started, Merle Bauer was my athletic director, and he came to North Platte the same year I did, and he was kind of my North Platte dad, and this was just all starting, and I was gung-ho and didn't really know what I was doing, and Merle took me in and he said, I think what we need to do here is go slow. Just accept things as they come and don't get too pushy, and that was the best advice I ever had, because our community was always behind us. The parents, the community, the male coaches. I coached the track team and started the track team, and the boys had practice. We had a junior college in North Platte that had track. They had practice, and then we started practice, and I had no assistants. So I had the girls come in 20-minute shifts, like sprinters you're here from.
I was going to say by events.
Yeah, by events. But the men coaches would stay and help me. You know, teach them how to get out of the blocks and work with their skills, and they were great. My pay, when I first came, I was paid $300 to sponsor GAA, Girls, they call it Girls Athletic Association. Then they changed it to GIA, Girls Intramural Association, because we were getting girls athletics. And the school board said, you know, we probably should pay Linda something for coaching. I got $300 for GIA. So they gave me $100 to coach track and $100 to coach volleyball, and they took away my $300 for GIA. I said,
something didn't match up there.
I said, I realize I'm not a math major, but really. But that's what they did, and my stipulations, like I said, I couldn't interfere with the boys. Their practices always had priority. I couldn't. Prep Cub and cheerleading had a priority over our practices, and it couldn't cost the school any money. So we washed cars and raked leaves and did whatever we could. Oh, when we went to the a track meet in Scotts Bluff, the girls each had to pay $2.50 to ride the bus, the school bus. And back then, $2.50 was a lot of money. So I said, okay, we'll go find some lawns to rake or something so we can. Yes, isn't that awful?
Here's a look back at some of the great moments, Linda Carlson.
Yeah.
That was 1980, right?
See, and people who say you haven't changed a bit, I say I was looked either awfully old 50 years ago. Your eyesight's really bad. One of the two.
Well, this is 19. You must remember that 1980 when you won the state title. It was a 3-setter back when it was before rally scoring, right?
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, again, what fond memories, all of this, you know, going back and kind of reminiscing too. What's your favorite memory?
Oh, you know,
it's hard to pick.
Yeah, it's hard to pick a favorite memory, but I would say it's the friendships and the people I met. You know, there in Northeast with Sandy Genrick, we're still really good friends, and I talked to her. I think the memories are the people I met and the kids I got to meet and my players who are now my golfing buddies.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
That we go out and we golf and we talk about old times, but to pick a special moment, you know, I listen to football coaches and they say, oh, remember that game? It was second and 12 and we were on the 30, and I'm going, holy cow, I don't.
There's too much action in it.
But to pick out a specific moment when something happens, I don't really have one, I guess.
In 1980, you win it as a wild card.
Yes.
And you ended up playing Northeast for the championship. You won at 15-12 over Sandy Genrick. Talk about that.
Well, the wild card, that I do remember. We were ahead 13-2, and I wasn't good about subbing anybody, so I had all these kids that never got to play. And I thought, oh, I'm just going to put these kids in. They can get, and that was side-out scoring.
Oh, sure.
Where you were, and we lost.
You're trying to do a good
thing. I was trying to, and the poor kids, they felt terrible. But we lost some momentum, and then I put the starters back in. But, and that's when we had, your districts were by
geographical.
They always had, the Western Nebraska had a district. And Grand Island and Kearney and North Platte were rated 1, 2, 3 in the state. So I thought, holy cow. But we got a wild card. And I tell Sandy, man, they were blocking the heck out of us. And so I called timeout, and I told the kids, I said, just hit it in that block as hard as you can. It'll fly out of bounds. And so, I mean, my knowledge wasn't great, but I didn't know.
That was coaching advice.
I know. I said, I said, just hammer it. So they did, and about 4 balls went out of bounds. And Sandy took the block off. And then we just skated through the rest of the match. I went over and thanked her. But it was fun. Then in '79 when we won, we also played against Sandy.
Oh, wow.
But, you know, that was before club ball, where our advantages were pretty equal. we don't have a lot of kids that play club ball even now. And so that puts us at a huge disadvantage in Class A. Well, even Class B, a lot of Eastern Nebraska Class B clubs play club.
Well, and as you said too, just at the beginning, learning and learning how to coach this sport. You knew how to coach kids and build relationships and all that, but again, learning the techniques and trying to, again, teach those and get kids to again, be very skilled.
You know, a lot of people ask me, what was your strongest asset as a coach? And I said, I really think it was I could motivate people. And our philosophy was get the ball to hit the floor on their side and don't let it hit the floor on our side. It's a simple game.
Find a way.
Find a way. Just don't
let them have their way.
Yeah, just don't let it hit the floor. And man, those kids, they would just die for our team. It was so fun.
Sacred Heart with the lead here in the D2 title game in set number 2. Their first lead of this second set, on top now 14-13. Flyers took set number 1, so it's 1-0. Humphrey St. Francis into the net, and now a 2-point advantage for the Irish. You must be impressed with the progress and the skill level of today's female athlete and how popular this sport has become in the state. It's clearly the top sport in Nebraska.
And you know, the other great thing about volleyball, what other sport do you see where kids are smiling and laughing and hugging?
Coming together.
Even when they're losing, they're still smiling and laughing and coming together. And yeah, it's, you know, I always said that the small schools like D1, their best players as good as a Class A best player. I don't think there's, but when you get down to the 4, 5, 6, you see a real difference. And so that's what makes the difference in the classes. But as far as individual players, boy, there's some great players in small schools.
Well, Kathy and I have commented in the past that even at the lower levels, volleyball in the state of Nebraska is played at such a high level.
Oh, yeah.
If you go around, you look at other states and you get down to some of the lower classes, for example, like at a D2, it gets you know, very error-filled, and the level drops up, but it doesn't really here in Nebraska.
No, not at all. We went, the last year I coached, 2003, the fall of 2003, the year of 2004, we went to a camp out in Colorado. And it was an elite camp, and we just walked through everybody. So this guy called me from some magazine, and they were going to rate us #1 in the nation. And I thought, well, I don't know where you're coming from there. He said, well, I talked to the Colorado coaches, and they said they've never seen a team like you. And I said, I got to tell you, there are Class B teams in Nebraska, and probably even C1 teams on any given night could beat us. And that was true. I mean, it's the difference in Nebraska volleyball, and I give Terry Pettit the credit for that. Even little old me, I could call Terry and say, we're just not doing a very good job of blocking. And he'd talk to me for an hour. It just...
And speaking to that point, again, coaches coaching coaches.
Yes.
You know, and he set that, I guess, platform, or he kind of set that up, and again, that's what we do. We help each other.
Right.
That grows our sport, that grows our programs. We learn from one another.
And of course, I'm not around it now, but towards the end, I really didn't see that. I know we played a team, and they got a new coach from Texas. And I went over and tried to talk to her, and it was like, we don't talk before after the game. So the person who had always used to coach at that school was still there, and I went over and talked to her. I said, you need to tell her that's not how we do it here, because she's not going to get very many friends.
Well, and the culture of volleyball, it's a community type of culture, you know, and that needs to be maintained. And again, that's why we grow and do things well.
Olivia Eichhoff with the kill in the middle off the overpass, and look at the Irish here in set number 2. Largest lead of the match for the Irish, on top 19-15.
You know, one of my ex-student managers coached Humphrey St. Francis. And how cool is that your student manager became a volleyball coach?
Right?
Yes, she's here actually today. I just got to see her.
Fun. Well, and like I said, sometimes your impacts are well beyond just the players on the court. You know, it's people who are in your program and finding ways to get kids involved in different ways.
Yeah, I love what you said about, Terry Pettit deserving much of the credit.
Oh,
I think
gosh.
so many people see him as the godfather of volleyball in the state of Nebraska. Many just know it at the college level, but what he did for volleyball across the entire state is really indescribable.
It is. And, he didn't care where you were from or who you were, or he always had time for you if you asked him a question. And I know that wasn't just me. Other coaches would said the same thing. That he really was great for Nebraska volleyball. And it's good volleyball.
2 contact called, and now 21-16. Irish looking to even this at a set apiece, and timeout taken by Dean Kors of Humphrey St. Francis. Irish come in on a 17-game win streak, looking for their first title since 2006.
You say that, John, like it was a long time ago.
Just a day or so.
Yeah, when you get to my age, it's like, that was like, yesterday.
So any advice you would have for folks that are coaching or getting in coaching and how to keep moving this forward?
I would just say, look at it as an opportunity to meet people and to develop people and make the best of those people from those people you meet. I mean, I have friends from Alliance to Omaha that I would have never, ever had the opportunity to meet if it hadn't been for coaching, or if we hadn't reached out to each other when we were coaching. And I mean, you know that, Kathy. You go to a tournament, and that evening you all get together and you laugh and yuck it up about what your kids are doing or not doing. Or I think another reason we were successful in the beginning, I'm an old farm girl, and we conditioned the heck out of the girls, and we were so much stronger than the girls from the eastern part of the state. And I don't mean that as a put down or we were better. We were just stronger. And I know the Lincoln coaches always say, man, I wish our girls would play defense like your girls. And I said, we have to, because if we didn't play defense, we'd never win. We don't have the technique. It's not that our girls we just weren't as consistent. We could hit it as hard as anybody else, but not as consistently as girls who played year-round. And one time I was sitting there, and a Lincoln coaches said to me, well, who trains your girls in the off-season? And I said,
the basketball and the track coach.
I said, I'm not sure what you mean. I guess basketball coach. They all play basketball. Yeah. Well, don't they work on volleyball? And I said, oh, no, I discourage that. I said, I wouldn't like it if during volleyball season they played basketball all season and then showed up to me all tired. And so that was a big difference. We just didn't have the reps that girls in the eastern part of the state had, and so they were a lot more consistent than us.
Set point here in the second at 24-17 in the antenna and point for the Irish, and they have come back to take set number 2. And in the Class D2 state championship, we are all even at 1 set apiece. We want to just quickly say thank you so much to Linda Carlson for joining us here in set number 2. It was great hearing the stories. It was fantastic. Great to see you.
It was. One thing I want to add, don't you think that one reason girls love playing volleyball is because they don't have to bump into each other and knock each other over?
That net separation?
You can't get mad at each other. Hey, thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely. Linda,
it was an honor.
Yes.
Thank you.
And it was a privilege. It was good to see
those
you.
Friends.
Yes.
Last-time friends.
That's Linda Carlson, longtime head coach of North Platte and one of the pioneers in volleyball in Nebraska.
All this grass, all this mulch, all these projects to do, they all get done with the Kubota BX Series tractor. The Kubota BX Series. Kubota is a proud sponsor of Nebraska High School sports on Nebraska Public Media. It's the crack of dawn, but it's never too early to get ready for hunting season. Acceleration, handling, and cargo room for work. The Kubota Sidekick. For more information and participating Nebraska Kubota dealers, KubotaNesports.com.
Constellation is a natural gas supplier helping inspire young Nebraskans through hands-on learning. Constellation has given more than $290,000 to 4-H and FFA organizations across the state, helping support youth in your community with opportunities to achieve real-world success. Because we believe that powering communities means empowering our future leaders. With Constellation, a contribution to 4-H and FFA is in the stars.
It's thanks to you that we're where we are today. We're proud to watch these communities grow because they're our communities too. Our neighbors, our friends. It's where we live. These are all our hometowns. And no matter what, the people who will continue to serve your needs with the hometown support you know and trust are just down the street. Cornerstone Bank, growing together.
We're for agriculture, for growers, doers, whatever it takers. We're for doing things with purpose. We're for the little guy with big guy dreams. We're for agriculture. We're for you. Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Heading to set number 3 here in the Class D2 State Championship, our first of 6 state championships today on Nebraska Public Media. And we are even at 1 apiece. And how about Arison Vonderschmidt there in set number 2?
She definitely came alive and made a difference. Again, got that second set, 12 kills, hitting 400.
The only player on the floor hitting above or more than 300, Taylor Frederick, her teammate 3 of 10 for right at 300, but she's clearly dominant right now.
And she can do that. She can go out in a match and take over. And again, they utilize her in that middle, and she works off the edges of the block and really does a nice job. There she is again.
Again, Vonderschmidt with the kill, 13. Now, she came in rounds 1 and 2 with 16 and 15 kills for the first 2 matches down here at state.
And just again, where she's hitting at the net, there isn't a blocker in front of her, so she's got a lot of space out there. The blockers are having a hard time getting to her, and she's deadly.
At the touch, point again, and Sacred Heart on top 3-1 here early.
Taylor Frederick being explosive on the outside. Great reaction.
Quick tempo out to Vonderschmidt, 14.
You know, you got to go what's working, and definitely she's making a difference right now. Here, 2 blockers up, she still finds a way.
Kylie Russell with the kill. She averages 9 per match. She's going to play somewhere next year, Kylie Russell says, either Avila University, maybe Doane, still looking for the right fit. She played in that 2019 championship versus Bruning Davenport Shickley. And here is Kylie Russell back to serve now. Vonderschmidt off the block. Good block touch to keep it alive. Second touch. Nice coverage there by the libero, Lauren Malone.
And as you mentioned, Dietz getting her hand on that ball. slows it down. Even if you don't send it right back, it gives your team an opportunity to step in and make that play. That's a very successful block.
The touch of the point for the Flyers off the kill by Jalissa Hostreiter. And now Hostreiter, senior right side, will go back to serve. No touch that time, and another point for the Flyers to even it at 5.
This match has really been very back and forth. Nobody's really taking any big stretches or long, wide gaps to lead this match.
Here is Delaney Witt now back to serve. Off the block, Witt steps in to take it on the second touch on the set. Right on target, and Taylor Frederick puts it away. Frederick, a very well-rounded student athlete. 3rd in the state in newspaper writing. How about that?
I was going to say, you know, that's the fun thing too about a lot of these players. They are not only excelling in this sport, but in the other things, you know, they're doing. There's great student athletes, you know, a great writer here. It's just fun to see again how diverse their skills and talents are.
Josie Zock now back in to serve for the Flyers. Serve specialist. Right down, oh, good angle. Took it right on the line on the swing by Olivia Eichhoff.
You know, in the middle, you got a one-on-one matchup. You work and try and slice off those edges, but you got to be able to control that. Otherwise, it's easy to take that too far and wide.
Chases after the bump set. Opportunity here for St. Francis. And they get the kill on the swing by Kylie Wessel once again. Wessel leading the way here early on with 10 kills now.
And hitting right at 280, so being really pretty efficient on that outside. And
good up by Malone. Wessel off the block, but sent right back and down in play. Point for the Irish.
Irish did a great job again working together. It looks on our outside there. I believe that was Rachel Magdan's. Nice setup and really closed it. Didn't give her any line. A little faster tempo to the outside there, trying to push it, beat the block.
There's a high ball out to the left pin, and once again put down by Kylie Wessel.
Wessel really just working hard in transition, get out, get in aggressive, and work that block over.
Neither team has really been able to separate here in the first or second set. I think the largest lead for either team was at 5. But it's been back and forth, tight games, all 3 sets, and here we are at 10-9.
Wessel trying to get that tempo ball, but you've got some long arms there by Vonderschmidt, and she did a nice job staying disciplined and waiting for that ball. Yes, just in just underneath the blocker's arm. That's a great shot.
Schmidt in the middle, into the net. Net violation called on Schmidt. The hand must have come down and just clipped the net.
And if you notice, the Flyers put up a triple block that time, trying to slow her down. And had she not net, she still was able to get it around,
down the floor.
you know.
Second touch not down. Set to the right, kept alive by the Flyers. Oh, Engel Schmidt had it just wide.
I love her aggressive approach in there. She was going hard after the ball, just missed it.
Two teams have been fairly solid siding out here through the first 2.5 sets. Irish siding out at 65%, 60% for the Flyers.
That's why we're seeing this even matchup here. Both able to do what they want to do. Great shot there, kind of down the line toward that kind of middle back area zone. Was able to find the floor, just enough space there. Gets it to fall.
It is a 4-0 run for the Flyers and a timeout taken by the Irish at 13-10. So for the Flyers, it has been Kylie Wessel leading the way. She has 11 kills and already 31 swings for Wessel.
And she's used a variety of shots. We've seen her go on the line, we've seen her tool, we've seen her split the block. So she's really got a good vision and seeing what's in front of her and then making decisions accordingly.
There are the numbers for Kylie Wessel. Just a junior. Not only does she average nearly 10 kills per match, but also has more than 300 digs on the year to lead the Flyers. So true 6 rotation standout player for the Flyers. Another free ball opportunity. Well, Wessel again, why not? She delivers again.
Well, and I love that fast tempo. They got a free ball to be able to take that and speed up the tempo, which beats the block, which she's so good at driving it through. Oh, that's a shot right off the blocker's arms and to the floor. I think that hit about 12 feet. I don't know. On top of it.
Thumb down there for Schmidt. Oh, nice tip.
Strider did a nice job, knows where she's at, takes that ball, and as it pops up to her in her hand, she said, I'm just taking care of business here. Throws it to the floor.
That goes off the block, tooling it, and the kill for the Flyers. There's Kelly Pfeiffer.
Yep, big block there again. Just couldn't control, tooled one at a time. One at a time.
It is a 6-1 run for the Flyers. Well, if you have friends and family across the state, the country, or maybe even the world, they can watch the NSAA High School Championships on Nebraska Public Media Sports. Just download the free Nebraska Public Media app and you can watch their favorite Nebraska high school team or maybe their favorite player. Live streaming also supported through Apple TV and Chromecast. Get the free app at nebraskapublicmedia.org/apps. Let's go down courtside to Ryan Mix.
Hey guys, well throughout the day we'll have a few head coaches who will be coaching their daughters, and not super unusual, but a little bit unusual today is head coach Emma Ebel gets to coach her sister-in-law, and that is Lainey, because Emma married Lainey's older brother Bryce. So Emma and Bryce met in 2016, and at the time Emma was coaching the junior high team at Sacred Heart, so Lainey was in junior high at the time, and so this is special for Emma to be coaching this class of seniors who she coached 5 years ago as junior high. And I asked Bryce what it's like for his wife to coach his sister, and he said, you know, it's really not all that unusual because he feels like the team is one big family, but pretty special here for Emma and Lainey.
And the ace by Vonderschmidt, and you saw Emma Ebel drawing up the serving target. They're going to go right back to zone 1 again.
Something works, you got to keep capitalizing on it. Great block also.
Out of the back row.
Keeping it alive.
Another free ball opportunity here for the Flyers. Just in on the line of the kill by Tessa Dietz.
Dietz, nice finish to the long rally. Both teams scrambling and keeping the ball alive, but here she's got 2 blockers, but still finds a way to make that nice sharp cut down that sideline. Great push to the outside. What a great defensive play in return.
Was there a touch? No touch. Point for the Flyers. Oh, the Irish wanted a touch there.
Trying for that high hand shot. Just a great job, again, looking the defense there, the defense in the middle, so that whole section on the outside is open, and she threads the needle.
And that swing on the left side ends the 3-0 run for the Flyers. Now 19-14, Humphrey St. Francis looking to go up 2-1 here.
And as you mentioned, this is about the widest gap we've had, a 5-point lead by either team.
Certainly here in set number 3, and there's the tip end down.
Olivia Eickhoff again doing a tremendous job in the middle up there with that block. Love the defensive plays we're seeing, both again on the floor, but also at the net. Nice swing.
There's Tessa Dietz again. The Dietz on her 4 kills.
Let's see how you got that. Slice it right under. They utilize her on that right side in that rotation off serve receive, and she's come through several times with that swing cross court.
Into the tape. First to 20 and now 21 of the Flyers. Back in serve specialist, Josie Zott.
Both teams just trying to get organized here. You can see they're shooting it over.
A great diving save there by Devaney Witt. But then it's finished off by the Flyers. 7-point advantage here for Humphrey St. Francis.
Kylie Strickland again in the middle. She's got two and a half. That third one chose to stay down. But again, doing a great job finding the court. Straight up.
The pass not down. A good reaction to keep it alive, but just out. And now the Flyers 2 away from going up 2-1.
You know, we're seeing some incredible defensive plays in this match already. Just players laying it out, keeping balls alive. Love seeing that.
Set a little too tight, and the Flyers were there to shut it down.
Yep, the blocks there, trapped it in. Tough ball to handle on the outside for Magdens.
Set point number 1 here in the second.
Oh, great coverage, teamwork there. Eichhoff again, making her presence known up at the front in the middle. Not going quiet.
That'll bring up set point number 2. Taylor Frederick back to serve for the Irish. For the side out and the set. Overpass, not down. That'll be a point for the Irish. 2 contacts called. On the third set point, the Flyers take the set. 25-17 here in the third at Humphrey St. Francis. 1 set away from a title in Class D2. We'll have the 4th when we come back here in Lincoln.
Former Flyer Allison Widener, now a freshman on the Nebraska women's basketball team. And Allison, what do you think of the match so far?
It's been pretty exciting. Our girls are playing gritty. They're laying it all out there for the championship. It's a lot of fun to watch.
So Dean Corus joked that you're the lucky charm for this team because you went and watched them in Spalding in the conference tournament, and they won conference. Played what he said was one of their best matches of the year against Spalding. You were there yesterday for the semifinal, and here you are again today playing well. So what is it about you being a lucky charm?
I don't know. Maybe it's just the bond that I have with these girls, but I love watching them, and they play so well together, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
You said that you're still friends with some of the girls on the team, so what'd you tell them before the match?
Just live in the moment, have fun, and enjoy it because you don't get a chance like this very often, so just enjoy it.
And Allison sitting front row here opposite the bench, so serving as almost like another coach here, right? As I see you're yelling out to the girls on the floor, and you know, now a freshman at Nebraska, you're on the women's basketball team. You came in as one of the top 100 recruits in the country, which is pretty remarkable from a town the size of Humphrey. What has your experience been like so far in Lincoln?
It's been amazing. Coming in, it was just like a family welcoming me here, and we've just been bonding really well and practicing really well, and I can't wait to start the season off on Tuesday.
That's right. Huskers open the season Tuesday against Maine. Allison, good luck this season, and thank you for the time.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, Ryan Mix, very much.
Sometimes that lucky charm is all you need.
Right now, the lucky charm for the Irish is Arison Vonderschmidt, who has 16 kills, 9 digs, 1 away from a double-double.
Well, and she kind of went quiet in set number 3, and she had 12 kills going into it, finished the set with 15, so only 3 kills. And again, the hitting percentage, when we look at set number 3, 250 for the Flyers and 0-221 for the Irish. So definitely a difference. They've got to have Vonderschmidt get back in the mix here of that offense, and looks like they're trying to do that right now.
He is a stud, I would agree.
It's incredible the knowledgeable people we have out in our stands. We have some great fans supporting, and again, some good kids recognizing their talents.
Out of the back row. Don't believe it cleared the tape, and it'll be a point for Falls City Sacred Heart. And now Vonderschmidt back to serve.
Hostreiter on that right side. You know, the Flyers have utilized that right side in serve-receive rotations, and it's been very successful for them. They've sided out there very quickly when they've had the ability to use that attacker on the pin. Hostreiter taking that momentum from that kill back to the service line, and nice ace serve.
Ooh, into the antenna. Tried to go line right. Idea there is there was a little space there, but just clipped the antenna.
Free ball, we'll see what happens here. Just out. Tessa Dietz trying to work that sideline. Just missed her mark.
Just out point for the Flyers, and they're up 6-5.
Kelly Pfeiffer, that is her 12th kill. So she and Kylie Wessel really creating a lot of production on that outside. Nothing doing, says Kaylee Strickland.
That's right.
She's done a tremendous job, worked hard in that middle, been a strong, solid block throughout this match.
Well, good coverage there off the block. Oh. 2 touches. Malone back to serve for the Irish. Did not clear the block. Powered through the block on the swing and a kill by Strickland. And Kylie Strickland now with 9 kills.
Strickland, we've been talking about her block, but she's also been able to find ways to get kills here. They use her on the outside off a serve receive, lets her really swing away and be aggressive with the ball.
Nice cross-court shot. Evens it back up.
Eichhoff again, finding ways. She's a competitor. If you watch her out on the court and she's talking, looking at things, she's going to go after it and go hard. Great job there by Emma Frederick. Knew where she was. She was in great position on the court and was able to let that ball go out of bounds. Sometimes it's really critical. Like good position allows you to make smart decisions.
Emma Frederick with the serve. Now on the slide. Goes into the block. Kept alive though. Good coverage again by the Flyers. They've done a nice job of covering the block.
Mm-hmm.
here this morning. And there's another kill for Vonderschmidt, who now has 19 in the match.
Does a nice job here. This time she takes it and cuts it thumb down, cuts it to the opposite angle. She likes to swing cross court.
Yeah.
Here she takes it the opposite direction.
That was there before the block. Good. Quick tempo out there to Kylie Wessel, who has 14 kills.
And she really excels when they have the ability to speed up the offense. She really loves that. She comes in hard and is able to beat the block a lot of times.
Just waiting there was Devaney Ebel. Rachel Magdan's now back to serve for the Irish. With an 11-9 lead, trying to send this to a deciding fifth. Not yet. It was Hostreiter, right?
Yep.
Alyssa Hostreiter going off the side of the block. She has 8 kills. $20 kills now for Harrison Vonderschmidt. Getting 395 at 21 now. Right?
Yep, 21. She, you know, and again, she just is working hard up there. Here's 22. You know, and again, we saw the difference in the match when she's hot and when she's in the front row, and the ability to run. If they get her stuck in the back row too, it limits some of their offense a little bit, and her to do what she does best, and that's find kills.
Russell with the ace. Her 39th now on the year. And another kill for Vonderschmidt.
There's a lot of pace on that ball, and we talked about she was changing the angles that she's hitting at right and left, and that's really keeping the defense off balance. But even if you are bouncing there, she's got a lot of pace on that ball. You got to really cushion it, protect, take some of that speed off.
Just long. You can see here in set number 4, despite being down 2-1, a lot of fight here in this Sacred Heart Irish team. They're used to competing. I mean, these are girls who've been in the state basketball finals 5 of the last 7 years under Luke Santo. It's a school in Sacred Heart that is just known for being outstanding athletically. You think about everything Doug Goltz has done there, football, basketball, track. He's a superintendent, the AD. How many state all those roles.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that blows my mind.
Falls City Sacred Heart takes backseat to no one in this state when it comes to athleticism, and you can see the fight here in set number 4 as they are up by 4. 16-12, and it has been a lot of Harrison Vonderschmidt here in the 4th. She has 23 kills. 23 kills, but I think the efficiency, 422. So she's able to take that ball and find a way to get it to the floor, and she does it again with a variety of shots, making strong plays and putting herself in position so that her setter can get her the ball in critical times when she's in that front row. Vonderschmidt with a double-double. 23 kills, 11 digs. And just to finish the thought on Sacred Heart and the athleticism, how much success that athletic program has had over the years. It's remarkable. In the state finals 5 of 7 years under Santo, and now the volleyball team, which hasn't won a state title since 2006, those athletes kind of translate. Had a text from Doug Goltz this morning who said, here's an interesting fact between these two schools, St. Francis and Falls City Sacred Heart. The principals of these two schools have the same name. That is interesting. They're both Jen Dunn or Jennifer Dunn. One goes by Jen, the other by Jenny. But there's Jennifer Dunn, the principal at Humphrey St. Francis, and Jennifer Dunn, the principal at Sacred Heart.
Fascinating facts. Pretty ironic. Eichhoff with another strong play.
Boy, good dig by Magdans to keep that alive. Eichhoff picks up her 11th kill of the match. Passes off there to lead to an opportunity here.
And she's kind of that go-to girl when Vonda Schmidt's in the back row, and she is coming through.
Delivering right now. That's 12. And a 6-0 run for the Irish. And they are just 6 away from sending this to a deciding set number 5 for the D2 title. Boy, big block.
Just the power, and again, knocks that block off. They didn't seal it and close up that net, and that's just enough space with that strong attack to come down the front of the blockers.
19-12, 7-point advantage for the Irish. And there's a look at the Flyers, who are on top 2-1. Dean Corus, their head coach, has been there 41 years. He says, you know, every year they kind of take a movie and they make it their theme. And this year the movie was called Blue Miracle. And it's a story about, it's a fishing tale about a bunch of orphans teaming up with an old gruff to win a tournament. And I thought, Dean, does that mean if at 41 years on the bench, you're the old gruff?
I was going to say, typecasting or what?
I think he would tell you that's probably the case.
And again, a lot of the schools, just something like that, that they pull themselves together and rally around, and kind of their focus for the year. But what a fun thing to do. And again, those are the team bonding things. And again, Dean Cordes is kind of, again, playing a key role in that.
He made the finals back in the mid-2000s, 4 consecutive years. Won state titles in 2004 and 5, then a runner-up in 2006 and 7, was here 2 years ago, was the runner-up in 2019. Trying to capture their first title since 2005. Falls City Sacred Heart won it the next year, 2006, and have not been back until this year in the finals.
And Diller Odell won last year, and that was really the team that kind of set the benchmark for Falls City during the season. They played him multiple times, kind of a 2-2 in the results, I believe. And again, just gave him that confidence to know that we can be a state champion too.
So another timeout here at 21-15, 4 away for the Irish. Sacred Heart Irish leading in blocks in the match.
10.
Onder Schmidt with 5, half of the team's blocks.
You know, and your first line of defense is that block, but the key in that is your setup and then working together as a team and being solid as you go up there. And it is definitely seen that strength and again that teamwork as they're working together to create that wall up there at the net. And it pays off. It really frustrates attackers, and is really one of those things that, again, sometimes is hard to see success at. We're seeing a lot of success from the Irish today.
Good one shaping up here in Class D2. So if you'd like a DVD of these NSAA volleyball championships, just call 800-868-1868. $19.95 plus shipping and handling, and we'll be able to relive all of these exciting moments. As it would appear we're getting close to a set number 5. On the overpass, what a shot! Put straight down.
In the net, though, however, on the follow-through. But I'm just going to say, I absolutely love Eichhoff's aggressiveness, strong play. She's been working hard there at the net, but she just got a little over-aggressive there and caught the tape.
Yeah, you're watching the replay.
Yeah.
She immediately looked at the R1.
Again, a great, we talked about blocking, great setup there. There,
Goes right around the block for the kill.
Eichhoff's number 13, lucky 13, gets it to fall. Turns that ball off to the right side. Working around a tough block there in Strickland.
Double touch again called on the Flyers. 23-16, Malone to serve. Tip down the line, swipe at it to keep it alive. Magdans tries the angle. Not down. Back to Magdans again.
Some good defensive play. Those are nice swings.
Goes off the top of the block, and the Flyers with the kill.
Kylie Wessel, again, continuing to be aggressive on the outside, and again, a great height hand. We've just seen a wide variety of shots from her in this match this morning.
Irish much improved in their hitting percentage here in this set as they get the point there. Hitting .345 here in set number 4. Combination of Bonderschmidt and Eichhoff have led the way. And here we are at set point to send it to a 5th. Good dig. Down the line, got it.
Great line shot there. Kylie Wessel doesn't have a lot of space, but she threads it right down the line perfectly.
Threaded is a good way to put that. And then Baumgart with the ace. Emma Baumgart with her 19th on the season. And a timeout by the Irish, so 24-19. Taking no chances, Emma Ebel will take a timeout for the Irish. It has been nearly 50 years since the passage of Title IX, which opened the pathways for girls and women in schools. It covers sports, admissions, academics. Over the next year, Nebraska Public Media will be telling stories centered around this really monumental legislation. This spring, the pioneers of women's athletics in Nebraska will join us to share their perspectives in a special called Title IX, 50 years in the making. You can learn more and share your Title IX story at nebraskapublicmedia.org/Title IX. 50th year of these NSAA state championships. And the growth of this sport in particular here in Nebraska has been remarkable. And that was set point for the Irish.
So an effective timeout.
Very effective. Well, what else would you expect? We're going 5 to open up these 2021 NSAA State Volleyball Championships. Bonderschmidt leading the way for the Irish.
Live streaming for the NSAA Championships are also available at the Nebraska Public Media website and on the free Nebraska Public Media app.
It was a devastating moment when everything stopped. I was asking myself questions that I'm sure many people asked, which was, are we ever going to have concerts again? It was really It was really tough.
And so here we are in the midst of this mess. And music still flourishes, and beauty gets to have the last word.
Beyond the Baton, coming November 15th at 9 p.m. Central to Nebraska Public Media.
PBS Passport gives you access to a phenomenal library of drama, history, science, and performance programs. You can watch whenever you want with the PBS app. Passport is the most popular member benefit we've ever offered. But did you know that you can receive access to Passport by donating your car, truck, or boat? Well, you can. So put that vehicle you no longer need to good use. Go online or give us a call right now to donate it. And thanks.
Nebraska Public Media Sports brings you coverage of Nebraska Volleyball. The Huskers host the Maryland Terrapins live from the Bob Devaney Sports Center in Lincoln. Friday night at 6 Central on Nebraska Public Media.
We are headed to a fifth here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center, the Class D2 title game between Sacred Heart and the St. Francis Flyers, 25-19. Sacred Heart won set number 4. The Flyers have been led by Kylie Wessel.
Kylie Wessel has just done a tremendous job on the outside, so she's working hard on the pin. She's hitting a wide variety of shots, being aggressive in all her moves and play. Here, even again from that service line, when she gets off that big kill, she goes to the back row and still keeps the pressure on.
And for the Irish, it's been Arison Vanderschmidt.
Arison Vanderschmidt has done a tremendous job, again, hitting around that block. She works to the right, she works to the left, but again, her defense transitioned back into that offense, and as she's been in the front row and created production, this Irish team has won those sets.
So here we go for set number 5, a race to 15 for a state title.
Strickland in the net there, again, a good idea. Just didn't get it executed as she hoped. Wow.
Swinging to kill in the middle by Vanderschmidt.
Sharp angle there. She didn't have much court to work with there, but does a tremendous job, gets on top of it, but that top spin drops it inside that sideline.
And then the point to the Flyers. Flyers survived a 5-setter to open up these state championships, knocking off Anselmo Myrna 15-9 in the 5th. They won in the semifinals against Maywood Hayes Center in 4, 25-12 in the 4th. Sacred Heart has not been pushed to a 5th. In fact, they were 6-0 in sets prior to
this moment.
These finals, right?
Yep, yep. So Wessel again on that right side, being aggressive and finding the kill.
Six kills for Arison Vanderschmidt.
And they just keep coming, and she rotates to the back row. The Flyers say, finally. Definitely feels momentum on the Irish side right now. After coming off that 4-set win, they just are energized and confident as they start this 5th set. And the key in this 5th set is getting that quick start because it's so fast. That's only 15 points. You've got to come out and ready and play sharp because it will go quickly.
All City Sacred Heart came in the top seed, 34-2 their record on the season. This their 13th trip here to state, but just the 2nd year for head coach Emma Ebel on the bench for the Sacred Heart Irish. She played her college ball at Nebraska Wesleyan before having it end early due to injury. Her mom is Janet Feeney. Folks in Iowa will know that name. She's a longtime coach at Trainer, just outside of Council Bluffs. So terrific volleyball pedigree for the 2nd-year coach, Emma Ebel. And right out of the timeout, Tessa Dietz gets the kill.
And Dietz coming off, again, that timeout with a great plan. That tempo, that fast pace for the Flyers really paid off.
Off the tape and out.
You know, the Flyers taking that timeout was really, again, try to slow down, take some of that momentum away from the Irish, who were really on a roll, had the foot on the gas pedal.
That's a great tip right in front of the bro who was playing back right.
Yep, the defense. She was over there, but again, I think just not in position, or maybe couldn't see well over the block.
Did not clear the tape, so 4 hits. And another one is that was into the antenna, just brushed the antenna. So right now, 8-4. Irish halfway there. They've doubled up the Flyers.
Devaney Witt there in the net, but again, a nice little stretch there from the service line. Josie Zuck, she's done a nice job from that service line this morning. See if she can get her team on a little run.
Good run in the middle for the Flyers. An important point there. Kaylee Strickland gets it. Now they're going to try to run a couple.
Strickland, again, working very hard in that middle. We've talked about her blocking. If she is chipping away offensively, I believe that's her 11th kill.
Right in between. Found the seam and delivered.
Just a lot of space there between two defenders. The defenders were both in position, but both kind of paused and looked to the other.
Frederick gets the kill and now back to serve. Good kill in the middle by Eichhoff.
Eichhoff working around the block. Again, she's providing that energy, that fire.
One timeout left for the Flyers, down by 4, 10-6. What point here? Nice tip. That's a big one for St. Francis.
Great decision there by Strickland. Triple block, 3 blockers in. That means those little spaces right off the edge along the net are wide open, or defense has really got to travel to pursue.
Now 11 kills for Strickland. Strickland, good left-handed touch, but Malone was there. Into the block, good coverage. Free ball over. Longest rally of the match and closed out by Olivia Eichhoff in the front.
She has been a spark plug up there, and again, working hard in these last 2 sets. She has definitely made her presence known in the middle.
Timeout taken by Dean Corus. That's his final timeout here in set number 5, 11-7. Irish 4 up and 4 away. For my D2 title. And it would be a first for the second-year head coach. What a record in 2 years for Emma Ebel, 61-9. They were here last year. They lost in the semifinals to Diller Odell. Came back, did Sacred Heart, and beat Maywood Hayes in the semis to take third last year, or the third place game.
Wanted to move that number up this time, you know, and they've been, again, on this winning streak. They've been the 17 in a row. This would be 18 in a state champion. What a way to finish your season.
No touch and wide. 12-7. 3 away. Nearly everyone returned on this Sacred Heart Irish squad. Lost only Daniel Bippus, who was a big part of last year's success. Good block in the middle, an important one for Strickland.
Huge block there again by Strickland. Stayed right on Vonderschmidt, knowing that that's where that ball is going to go. Got to be up and be solid.
What a block. Vonderschmidt again.
Vonderschmidt taking away the angle with that inside hand. That's her left hand, that's her strong hand, and it definitely came in handy there. Sealed it up.
Falls City Sacred Heart dropped the opener. They were down 1-0. They dropped the third. They were down 2-0. And this for the title into the net. So match point number 2 upcoming for the Irish. Looking for their first title in 15 years. Vonderschmidt. And the tradition-rich program at Falls City Sacred Heart adds another trophy to the case.
What a perfect way to end. Vonderschmidt, that would be her 27th kill of this match. Incredible.
What a way to start these 2021 NSAA Volleyball Championships. We had a 5-setter. The Falls City Sacred Heart Irish win it. Finish the season 35-2. They are state champions.
Sports fans, seasons change with new teams, new players, and new excitement. Just minutes from state championship venues, Sarpy County has year-round family fun, shopping, restaurants, and more than 2,000 hotel rooms. Your visitor's guide from GoSarpy.com helps start new traditions when you, family, and friends visit Eastern Nebraska. GoSarpy.com. So near, so fun.
Are you ready? Let's go.
4 years of high school can prepare your girls for who they'll be the rest of their life. That's why it's important for students at Marion to have every opportunity to develop in the arts, the sciences, all academics, as confident, faith-filled leaders in their community and beyond. The journey begins here. Marion High School. Discover what lies ahead.
Participating in multiple Nebraska high school activities has taught me the value of teamwork.
I learned how to be a strong leader among my peers.
We set goals as a team and work hard to accomplish them.
I strive to excel not only in the classroom, but on the playing field.
The Nebraska School Activities Association providing opportunities in 25 activities for our member high schools. NSAA activities, the other half of education.
Coverage of the 2021 NSAA Volleyball Championships is made possible in part by Nebraska Soybean Board, Education Quest Foundation, Nebraska Public Power District, Nebraska Kubota Dealers, Nebraska Corn Board, Aurora Cooperative, and Constellation. A big thank you to all of our sponsors who help us bring you the best high school athletes from across the state. We could not do it without your support. What a final in D2, 15-9 in the fifth. The Sacred Heart wins it, and now for medal and trophy presentations, let's go to Steve Lemon.
The Nebraska School Activities Association, the Nebraska Coaches Association, and the Nebraska Athletic Administrators Association are proud to support positive sportsmanship during the state championships and throughout the season. At this time, we are pleased to present the Sportsmanship Award for Class D2. The trophy is graciously donated by Awards Unlimited. The sportsmanship program is exclusively presented by Concordia University, Nebraska, now proudly partnering with Concordia University, Irvine, California, in offering the nation's #1 graduate program in coaching and athletics administration and exercise sciences. Making the presentation is Nebraska Coaches Association Executive Director Darren Boyson. The Class D2 Sportsmanship Award winner is Falls City Sacred Heart High School. Congratulations, Falls City Sacred Heart High School. The Nebraska School Activities Association is honored to have medals and trophies for both of these outstanding teams. Presentations will be made by NSAA Executive Director Jay Beller and NSAA Board of Directors Dr. Bob Resnicek from Boys Town and Thomas Lee of Omaha Westview. Here are the awards for runner-up Humphrey St. Francis High School. Head coach Dean Corus and his assistants will present the silver medals. Players, please come forward as your name is called. Number 4, Kylie Wessel. Number 5, Emma Baumgart. Number 6, McKenna Whitfield. Number 12, Tessa Dietz. Number 18, Leah Cush. Number 30, Hannah Baumgart. And now the seniors. Number 2, Mary Rita Wagner. Number 3, Josie Zock. Number 8, Kelly Pfeiffer. Number 10, Delaney Ulmer. Number 13, Morgan Pfeiffer. Number 14, Kaylee Strickland. Number 15, Jalissa Hostreiter. And number 22, Shelby Gilsdorf. And now for these outstanding athletes and their school, here is the 2021 NSAA Class D2 State Volleyball Runner-Up Trophy. Congratulations, Humphrey St. Francis High School. And now to the champions, Falls City Sacred Heart High School. Head coach Emma Ebel, we have a special award for you. Coach Ebel and her assistants will present the gold medals. Players, please come forward as your name is called. Number 5, Sadie Tisdale. Number 9, Olivia Eichhoff. Number 12, London Noctegal. Number 14, Jessica Wurtenberger. Number 15, Delaney Witt. Number 17, Gentry Lechtenberg. Number 20, Grace Malcolm. Number 22, Macy Keller. And now the seniors, number 4, Lauren Malone. Number 10, Rachel Magdans. Number 11, Arison Vonderschmidt. Number 13, Taylor Frederick. Number 16, Lainey Ebel. And number 19, Emma Frederick. Presenting the championship game ball from Farmers Mutual Insurance, Vice President of Communications and Marketing, Jess Rusted. And now for these outstanding athletes at their school, here's the 2021 NSAA Class D2 State Volleyball Championship Trophy. Congratulations, Falls City Sacred Heart High School.
First title in 15 years for Falls City Sacred Heart. They are state volleyball champions. When we come back, we'll hear from the champs and the coach. The state champs from Sacred Heart.
This is a growing corn plant. It's not battery-powered. It doesn't have a 300-mile range, but it's vital in our fight against climate change. Reducing 46% of carbon emissions and producing clean-burning ethanol. Corn ethanol is the climate solution we need now.
Sometimes you just have to be a little stronger. Go a little farther. Be a little tougher. This past year was a test to see if we could step up and weather the storm together. We are committed to push a little harder, go a little farther, lean into the challenge, and be tougher together. Aurora and you.
It may be small, but this little bean fuels power. It powers a food industry as a source of protein. It's a fuel that powers diesel engines while reducing emissions. It powers a state economy and bottom lines. and it powers the rest of the world as a Nebraska export. Yeah, it may be small, but we're finding more ways for this little being to power Nebraska.
Electricity. It makes life easier, more productive, brighter, possible. Yet we only think about it when we don't have it. The next time you're doing, well, anything, think about how electricity makes it all possible. And know we will be there, powering your everyday, every day.
Coverage of the 2021 NSAA Volleyball Championships is made possible in part by Nebraska Soybean Board, Education Quest Foundation, Nebraska Public Power District, Nebraska Kubota Dealers, Nebraska Corn Board, Aurora Cooperative, and Constellation. A big thank you to all of our sponsors who help us bring you the best high school athletes from across the state. We could not do it without your support.
Here with the champs, Falls City's Sacred Heart. The Irish claimed their first state championship since 2006. And Emma Ebel, you had to really earn that, a 5-setter. What do you think about that match?
You know, that's what the state tournament is all about, and especially the championship match. It shouldn't be easy. That's why we're here. But I could not be more proud of how they chose to fight. That could have gone two ways, and they definitely showed the mental toughness that I feel like they've developed throughout this season, and I am so proud of them.
I want to ask you a bit more about that mental toughness, because you were here last year at state and you felt like the team just wasn't as mentally tough as they could have been. So what did you work on this year to help prepare them for this moment to end as a state champion?
We talked a lot about being a competitor, and it's easy to say you want to compete, but it's different to actually do it. I like to try and teach them life lessons, not just things in volleyball. And so life is going to throw things at you, and you have two choices. You can either lay down and let it happen, and that's going to make your life really difficult at times, or you can choose to stand up and compete. And all season long, they've chosen to compete, and because of that, they get to take this home.
What does this mean for the school? First state title in 15 years.
Well, I haven't been there all that long. This is my 5th year teaching and only my 2nd year coaching, but I have a lot of family here, and I love these girls, and I love Sacred Heart with my whole heart. And if it means anything to them as much as it means to me, then I can't even put it into words.
It was a really back and forth match, too, trading sets there until the 5th set. What did you think was the deciding factor?
We gained our tempo back. We talked about that in the 2nd set, and we did it. And then we talked about it in the 3rd and 4th set, and we did it at times, but it wasn't start to finish. And in the 5th set, we really just talked about how 15 points, that's all we have. That's all we have left to give, and that's all it takes. And we need to do that with our tempo on our side of the net. There's a lot of outlying factors in the game of volleyball, and that back and forth is what makes it fun, but it makes it hard at the same time. So learning to control your side of the net and ignore the outlying factors is what made the difference in that 5th set for us.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, let's bring in Olivia Eichhoff. Olivia finished with 16 kills, 4 blocks. And Olivia, how's it feel to be a state champ?
It feels pretty great. Winning a state champ is fun, but winning it with your best friends makes it even better, and it's just a great experience.
That 5th set seemed like you guys really cranked up the intensity. What did you guys say in the huddle going into that 5th set, and what did you think was the difference in the 5th?
In the 5th set, like Coach said, our mental toughness went up a notch, and we found our tempo, and we just came out firing.
And what about to win this for Erin, too, as a standout senior, to have her go out as a state champ?
It means everything, because she's brought us through here. She's helped us all the way through. It just means everything to us.
And Sacred Heart, last year, as we mentioned, got to state, didn't get to this point. Here you are 1 year later, standing as a state champion. So overall, what did you think was the biggest difference from last year to this year to get you over the top?
Definitely our mindset. We came back, and we were just so tough, and we were so determined to get this done, and it feels great to get it done.
Congrats, Olivia.
Thank you.
All right, let's bring in Arison Vonderschmidt. The senior ends her high school career with 27 kills, 415 hitting percentage, and 6 blocks, but most importantly, a state champion. So how's it feel?
It feels amazing. I mean, we've been wanting this since my freshman year, haven't got it done. Been working hard every year, every day in practice, conditioning. Us seniors have worked so hard with the team, and it feels amazing to get it done finally.
Hadn't seen St. Francis, and we joked with Coach that, you avoided Diller Odell because you played him 6 times, played him 7 times last year. So this was really your first big test other than Diller Odell. What did you think about St. Francis's performance today?
St. Francis is a really good team. I mean, we had to mentally prepare for them. We had to know what they can do best, and we kind of had to shut that down. So we practiced, we watched film, we knew what to do to stop them, and I think that really helps practicing. They're a really good team, but we practiced and paid off.
Well, Harrison, it certainly did pay off. Congratulations. Falls City Sacred Heart, state champs for the first time since 2006.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Terrific championship in Class D2 and a great finish for Falls City Sacred Heart. Over the past 50 years, we've admired some of the best athletes and coaches as they take the sport's biggest stage. And during that time, we've crowned 272 state championships. Volleyball's become a state treasure in Nebraska, and we celebrate the 50th anniversary by looking back at how far the sport and the girls who play it have come.
I did a ton of camps this summer, and I would say almost every single town I went to had at least one D1 or upper D2 level kid. I mean, just talent across the board. And we're talking like towns of 600 people that have great volleyball players. And that's a tribute to great coaches. I mean, the state is hungry to be great at volleyball.
Celebrating year 50, volleyball in Nebraska is better than it's ever been. But how did we get here? Was it the success at the universities? Great coaching, super athletes? When you step back and look at the 50-year history of volleyball in Nebraska, it's hard to believe how far the game has come.
I had never coached anything in my life, and there were no requirements. I had a physical education degree and a teaching certificate and was willing to do it. And so when I got here, there were no athletics for girls. So I went to the school board, and they said, all right, you can have sports, but there are 3 stipulations. It could cost the school no money. Secondly, it couldn't interfere with the boys in any way. And the third one was it couldn't deter girls from wanting to be cheerleaders and in the pep club. So I said, okay, we'll do that. So the girls, we washed cars, we mowed lawns, we had bake sales to try to make money.
Playing for Linda gave us respect, hard work. So I told you I was going to get emotional. She taught me a lot, and I learned a lot through life.
My knowledge of the sports wasn't great, but I could motivate kids to work hard and want to do well.
Ninth grade, we started volleyball. Probably didn't even touch a volleyball before 9th grade. The first year, she's kind of like a drill sergeant. You're learning how to work harder than you've ever known how to work. You're learning drills. You're learning how to do the rolls, the dives. You come home, you're strawberries all over your hips. You're just like, okay, this is what I'm in for, so this is what I'm gonna do. But then by the time you get to be a junior, it gets to be a little easier, and then by the time you're a senior, she's your friend.
It was just fun back then. Not the pressure. Very few people in the stands watching. 79 and 80, when we won the state tournament, that was in Kearney. And man, I can almost remember every play. Played Lincoln Northeast in the finals, Sandy Genrick. She was a heck of a coach. We were exact opposites. She's a very technology coach. I was, don't let the ball hit our side of the floor and make it hit their side of the floor kind of coach. It used to be hit it, set them high and hit it hard. That was pretty much everybody's philosophy. Terry Pettit was so influential in high school girls volleyball. I mean, here I am in little North Platte, little nobody, and I could call Terry Pettit and say, we're struggling with blocking, and he'd talk to me for an hour. And I think he is probably the most influential person as to what Nebraska high school volleyball is.
It's come a long, long ways, and volleyball has changed so much.
I mean, when they had to work to get their uniforms, they had to wait to use the gym, they had nobody in the stands watching them. They played for the love of playing. They appreciated everything you did for them.
If I was around 55 years ago and couldn't play for the first 10, 11, 12 years of my life, I don't know where I would be now.
The inequalities are so minor to what the inequalities were 50 years ago. It's small now. It's important, but it's not what these kids faced.
That women were not able to play sports boggles my mind that that was even a thing. But I think the fact that now females can is huge. Females now are becoming more confident and more strong, and I don't know, like they stand with their shoulders up and they're confident young women.
And we'll be highlighting many of the stories from 50 years of NSAA volleyball throughout the day today on a 50th anniversary of these state championships. The Class D1 title is coming up. Archbishop Bergen, Howells Dodge will be next on Nebraska Public Media. Once again, our final score in Class D1. Sacred Heart wins it in 5. For Kathy Wieskamp, Ryan Mix, and the entire sports production crew, I'm Larry Putney. Thanks for watching the Class D2 NSAA Volleyball Championships on Nebraska Public Media.